Yo, what up? It's dionhyper here. I just got out of the shower at around 2 a.m. is the moment I'm recording this on the 19th. Hopefully 2 a.m. on the 19th will come out later this day. But I'm recording this video because I wanted to talk about my goals in 2024. I had the title of this video as I failed in 2024. I wrote down a notepad of all the things I want to talk about in this video. That might be the title. Who knows? All I'm going to say is that we need to acknowledge what happened in 2024 with me. dionhyper, the YouTube channel, the streaming channel, what happened. So, let me explain what my goals were for 2024 when I started streaming again. At the beginning of this year, I essentially came to the thought that I didn't want to do YouTube the way I was doing it or was thinking about doing it, and I wanted to try something new. And rather than just be afraid of if it was or wasn't going to work out, I figured I'll just try something new. I won't think about it. I'll just go in. I'm afraid it's not going to work. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it because I'll learn just by failing, failing upward, is a term, And this year I have failed, right? We can get rid of the egos, I did in fact fail this year, And I want to talk about, like I said, the goals of why I failed. So, on my notepad, I have a bunch of goals of why I failed and things I want to talk about, which I figure is going to go through this entire video. There's a lot here. I have it on the main monitor. I'm going to go through it. So, first off, we're going to go through the goals I missed in 2024. Number one was getting monetized on YouTube. The whole point of me getting monetized on YouTube was that I wanted to start making money on YouTube, so I knew that every video I uploaded, every stream I did, in some way I was making money, right? And I kind of got somewhat monetized on Twitch because I became an affiliate. I've since learned that being an affiliate might have been a big mistake because even though you can get subs for money, no one really does it. And then there's ads every time you watch the stream. So it's kind of a mistake on my part. Some people said, no, it was a good thing because you still get money. But I still haven't gotten a single payout from Twitch because no watch me. It's fine. It's fine, right? I took it as a big step that I was like, man, I'm finally getting there. But being an affiliate is one of the easiest things you can do, So it's not really that impressive, right? So Twitch is kind of monetized. YouTube was the main one I wanted to do because YouTube I can go through AdSense. I can start looking at engagement metrics, watch time percentage, and I can see how I can make it better and, start making money. Because eventually, right now, you wouldn't make any money in YouTube. But if you keep doing it, eventually it will lead to a point where you can do YouTube full time and you can get a schedule and a system down to consistently keep you afloat and doing YouTube as a job rather than things you don't want to do, right? And that was one of the goals I want to do because even though, I do editing as a job, it's a job that I know was kind of just busy work, and I actually wanted to be the creator. I wanted to be on the creating side, whereas my decisions of what went in the video, what I did that became the video, and my own content, that was me. I didn't just want to be the one doing the busy work. Some people like it doing that. Some people don't like doing the YouTube part. I want to do the YouTube part because I want to take this channel wherever I wanted to, right? So the idea of getting monetized on YouTube was that I would officially be a YouTuber. I could do that as my job. I could quit other jobs and just do YouTube full time, right? That's what because everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to just make a bunch of money, right? And obviously, they don't necessarily want to make a bunch of money, become super rich. They just want to be able to do something they genuinely enjoy and make it a career, right? That's why I get monetized YouTube. I didn't do that this year, all right? That's just one of many things I did not get to do this year that I had idea for. I figured, you know what, streaming, I'm not very good at it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to go in without really thinking about it and just kind of learn. I'm going to learn by failing, and I'll get better. And I think I have gone better by the end of the year, but I've also lost a lot of energy for doing streaming, and there's been bad lessons I picked up on, which is also why, I haven't succeeded this year. But my other goal, which was pretty much the second thing on my list for goals I missed, was go full-time, right? I wanted to go full-time so that I could just wake up and think about, okay, streaming, the video I want to do, yada, yada, be that. Right now, I don't. Right now, I think of, okay, what are things that are important in my life that I can't not do? Things I have to worry about my clients' work. I have to worry about just, what their videos are going to go out, what the deadline is for that. And, I just can't focus on my own stuff. So my stuff comes afterwards. That's why I can't really think of, what's the greatest video I can make for my own channel? Just because, I just, I'm so tired of editing and doing stuff for someone else that it's by the time it comes my turn for me to make my own videos, I'm kind of just burnt out. I don't really want to worry about editing and stuff. I just don't want to do it, But it's whatever. So I didn't go full-time this year. The last thing I want to do, which was a goal, which was kind of a goal, it wasn't really a goal in the way that I had to work hard and then it came out. It was just kind of one of my goals that I really wanted to do and have done by the end of the year, which was, in fact, move out. Some of you who watch the stream might know that there was a plan in literally June, over half a year ago, in June, I was going to try to move out of the house that you're seeing, the room you're seeing, the room that I streamed in, that I made videos in. I didn't want to do it quite in this room, you know? I wanted to actually do it in a different house because I wanted to have a different environment, and it never happened. It never happened. I never got to do that. I never got to move out. But the plan was to have it in June, all right? When we got this idea that I was going to move into a house, we had this idea that the house was a fixer-upper. We had to do a ton of work on it, but then I'd eventually move in, right? Well, that work that needed to be done has lasted multiple months. I thought it wasn't going to. And it's in a way that, like, the way the house is set up is that no one can actually live there unless the city council determines that it's a livable house, all right? It's a long story. Just short term, just know that I literally cannot move into the house, even if I wanted to. And even if I did, there would have been no Wi-Fi, no electricity, no nothing else. I couldn't even survive there, let alone streaming, you know? So I didn't get to move out. But that's something that also killed my momentum and even made me want to even do like YouTube and streaming, because I was like, I'm just waiting on me to move into this house because I want to do a lot of cool things in the new house. I haven't gotten to do it, all right? So that's another thing I failed in. You know, I just looked at the goals I missed this year, and I noticed I forgot losing weight. Listen, I hope I made you laugh, right? Yeah, Dion's fat. Yeah, right? Funny. Unironically, though, I think I put on weight by the end of this year. Maybe not much, obviously, but I think I put on at least a little bit. You know, you probably can't even notice it, but, you know, because I have a beard, you can't really notice it. But I have put on weight by the end of the year because I just haven't paid attention to dieting, you know, or even like working out. I haven't paid attention to that because I was just thinking about my own YouTube. Because by the time I get done editing someone else's work, all my energy now goes into my own stuff, my own editing. And I've just let a lot of things backslide. And, you know, that was just one failed goal I forgot to put on there that I thought I mentioned, all right? The next section of this video is I'm going to call, like, why I failed. Why did I fail at, you know, hitting my goals? You know, why didn't I go full-time on YouTube? Why didn't I get monetized on YouTube? Why didn't my stream pop off? Why don't I have 1 million concurrent viewers? Why am I the richest person in the world? I don't know. Nobody knows, you know? It doesn't make sense that I'm not the richest person in the world, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, the first thing I had on my list for why I failed is an ego. I know, it might seem wild that I have an ego, because no one, when they watch dionhyper, you're like, man, the most attractive, most masculine, chiseled jawline, he has an ego? Well, not like that ego. That's just kind of more like a character for stream. But my ego is that I just think that, like, I tried to do YouTube in a way that I thought I knew what I was doing, right? I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know how to structure the video for the most part. I know that there's an intro, the actual content, and then the finale, and then yada, 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 you make the thumbnail, whatever, right? And I have an ego about that in multiple ways. One, if someone gives me advice on YouTube, if I haven't seen that they made YouTube videos, I don't accept their advice, because I'm just like, they have not gotten the mastery cable on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, so why would I listen to them, right? Essentially, I just had this idea of how I thought YouTube videos worked. I thought it was just kind of like, you have the, like I said, intro, middle, end, and then you just make the thumbnail right, and then you just keep doing that, yada, yada, yada. Well, maybe it's just me, but I think my videos kind of suck. I think I can make my videos a lot better. I don't know how that is, though, because I know making a video inherently better is not like doing like the Mr. Beast thing, right? Everyone always talks about the Mr. Beast thing, you know? That's something that I was trying to actively avoid. I would do things that there's things I admittedly would not do because I was like, man, it seems too generic, all right? But that doesn't matter because it was generic anyway, which comes to my second point of why I failed, was that my content was sanitized and generic. Listen, I'm not going to be the first person to tell you this, and if you haven't figured this out, maybe I'll let you know here, and then you'll look at YouTube differently. But gaming is one of the most unoriginal niches ever. I actually wanted to stop doing gaming. I don't even know what I'm going to do that's not gaming, but I just know I didn't really want to do gaming because it's sanitized. Everyone loves playing video games, and everyone wants to play video games as a career, all right? You see Ninja playing Fortnite, you're like, oh, I'm going to be that because then I just make tons of money, and I get to play video games, which I already like doing, and I can do it as a job? That's a no-brainer, right? Obviously, I would just do that, right? But the thing is that everyone's doing it, all right? Even if it's not gaming, if it's just streaming, everyone wants to do it. It's just one of the biggest things. I always wanted to do it because I grew up watching streamers and YouTubers. That's why I wanted to do it. I didn't want to do it because it made a lot of money. I was just like, man, I wanted to become that person. I wanted to be on the other side of the screen entertaining people. And I hope I've been entertaining, right? Obviously. But I also know that what is like my hook? What makes me independent or different than other streamers? I don't even know if I can answer that. Maybe some other viewers can come up with some ideas to answer that. But honestly, like any idea you come up with that makes, oh, that's why dionhyper is unique. There's many other streamers out there who have that specific thing, right? So it's just generic. And this isn't, I'm not trying to come up with a solution for this, like why my content sanitized and generic. I just know that it is, and that's why I think I failed. Because why would someone, right? Look, sanitized generic, right? Why would someone watch me, dionhyper, when I'm just making the same content and streaming the exact same way as most everyone else's? You know, you wouldn't. You know, why would you watch me play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on stream when you can watch, like, I don't know, like Scump, you know, when you can watch like Swag, you know, when you can watch like, I don't know, even if you're just watching YouTube videos, you can watch like FaZe Jeff, you know, for Call of Duty specifically. And that's just one niche of thing I played. I played Call of Duty one time for like a month because Black Ops 6 came out, right? That's it. Why would you watch me instead of these other people who have already done it, who have gotten so good at it? You know, what makes me stand out? You know, I don't know what that is, you know, but I think that's the reason I failed. And the last note I have on here for why I failed is, in fact, inconsistent goals. All right, inconsistent goals. I think my goals with streaming have always changed because I was like, ultimately I still want to do it because I want to make money, right? I just don't want to have to do anything else I don't want to do as a job. That's why I want to do streaming, you know. But even at that, I realized that everyone wants to do that, so it's not really a good enough goal just to do it as a full-time career, right? Everyone wants to do it, so we gotta have a better goal. My other goal was that I thought a lot of streamers nowadays weren't like as entertaining as maybe they used to be, or they're just trying to play you like you're really stupid, you know? And I was like, well, I want to have an audience of people who are more mature, who are more older, who, you know, like don't really like are looking for authenticity. Obviously, my content's not that. All right, my content is not that. So I'm trying to make it that it's not that. Obviously, you know, I have a lot of younger people in my audience, right? But my goals were very inconsistent. That's another reason why I failed. Just because I was like, well, I want to do as a living, obviously. And then from there, my next goal would be to just scale it up until the point where I get like $1 million every single time I upload. And then from there, I can make the best videos ever. And then for, you know, yada, 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 you know? But everyone just wants to start. My goal is kind of, I just want to start, you know, and I just want like all these things. And it's kind of just changed over time. So my goal before was like, when I first started, I was like, okay, I want to have one stream a week. I want to upload videos throughout the week and get people to tune on the stream I do once a week. When I first started, I only streamed like once a week. And then within 3 streams, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stream twice a week, you know, whatever. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try streaming 5 days a week. And I only ever hit that like one time, I think, ever. Every other time I've only streamed like 4 days a week at most, and then 3 days and 2 days. And sometimes there's been weeks I haven't streamed at all, you know? It's just something that happens. Also, my gear turned on, so if the audio quality drops, that's not my fault. I promise it's not my fault, right? But that's the reason I failed, because my goals were very inconsistent, and I just didn't really know specifically what I wanted to do with that, you know? So, the third section I have is called Why I Chose Streaming. And I have 3 things here for why I chose streaming, right? And obviously you could be like, well, what do you mean by why I chose streaming? Well, I wasn't doing streaming before the beginning of this year, right? I was doing streaming many years back, and then I stopped streaming, and then I just started doing like YouTube videos in general. I just was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make videos that are edited a certain way, and it's going to look like this, right? Now, I've gone through that. I don't really want to do that, you know? So I don't really want to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the videos the way it was done before, right? Had to burp. My bad. So, I chose streaming because I was like, you know what? I'm watching a lot of streamers, and I wanted to re-get what streaming used to be back in the day, right? I was like, I wanted to do what I grew up watching, because the way people are streaming nowadays is not what I grew up with and really enjoyed. I want to do what I really enjoy. And let me just say that coming to the end of this year, I realized that a lot of that old content, I think I overvalued it, and I don't think it was actually as good as it was. I was just young, and I really enjoyed it at the time. You know, whatever, right? But that's why I chose streaming, because I was like, I grew up watching streamers. I wanted to be that person. I wanted to recreate that vibe and era. But I also just, you know, it's just not that age anymore. You know, it's not the same day anymore. Streaming is much different than it used to be when I was watching streamers when I was growing up, right? But that's why I chose it, and I have 3 things for why I chose streaming. The first one was idols, which, like I just said, there's people that I was watching that I really wanted to be, and this is from literally like 2016 until like I think around 2020 is when I kind of stopped watching streamers. But the beginning of 2020 was a great time for streaming because it was like COVID, everyone was inside, and I thought that was the most fun watching streams and wanting to do streaming I've ever had, right? But I grew up watching streamers, and I always wanted to be that person because people I looked up to, right? Second thing that I want to do was community growth. Now, this is a weird one because I don't really even understand it myself. But community growth, the way I look at it, is that like I wanted to do streaming. I really wanted to do streaming. And what I did was that I wanted to grow a community of people who would know me from streaming and be very dedicated. Because if you have people showing up to your streams, they're very dedicated, all right? So I want to have a community that was very dedicated because my goals for this is that one day I don't only want to do YouTube, but I want to do other creative endeavors and stuff and go beyond just doing YouTube and streaming. And I wanted people to be able to keep watching me after that happens, all right? That's why I think of community growth. I want a very dedicated community that would follow whatever I do after YouTube slash stream, right? So that was one of them. And the last one was obviously money, right? Now, you don't make a stupid amount of money streaming, but you are spending a lot of your time dedicated to streaming, so you do get a lot of money in that aspect compared to other work you could do, right? And when I say money question mark, if you notice right here, it is a question mark, is because when you want money from streaming, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret that. The one that I always did was that, hey, I want to do it as a career, and I wanted to do streaming with the confidence that I was not, like, you know, wasting time or, like, just you know, like, not saying wasting time, because if you're not making money doesn't mean you're wasting time, obviously, but like making the most of your time, you know, like if I was doing streaming 5 days a week and I stream for 4 hours at a time, that's 20 hours a week that I'm not making anything. I don't make any money, nothing from the stream, right? So obviously I'm like, well, question mark, money, question mark, right? So, but if you want to do, like I said, if you want to do it through you don't make a living off it, you know, that's the way you do it. But some other people want to do it because they want to make a lot of money, you know? And not necessarily that they want to, like, buy, like, nice cars or nice clothes or, you know, live in a huge mansion, you know, like Kyson Nat on his last stream. No, people just want, like, a lot of money because they want to create a lot of things. They're creative people. Like, you know, like, even though it's not like a streamer, like, Markiplier is a YouTuber and he's making a movie now. He couldn't have done that, you know, without making a lot of money. And that's maybe why he wanted to make a lot of money. It's because he wanted to make a movie, you know? And you want to do it his way, you know? So it's cool, right? People don't necessarily just want to make money because, like, they're just greedy people and just want to buy all the nice things and then laugh at you poor people. Like, it's not. They just want to make cool things, right? And that's always, I have a lot of cool things I want to make in my lifetime, so I want to make a lot of money to get to there, right? So that's another reason. But the thing with streaming, and what I've realized this year, is that there's a lot of issues. There's a ton of issues with streaming that no one thinks about because no one has thought about becoming a streamer. They just know Ninja from Fortnite and they're like, well, Ninja is like such like a rich popular guy, how can you complain, you know, if you're Ninja? You know, it's the easiest thing ever. You just go live and you play the video game you're good at. This is the easiest thing ever. And that is true inherently, right? On a very physical, you know, surface level, that is, yeah, that is a very easy job, obviously. But the thing about streaming, and this is one thing that people don't understand, is that streaming is one of the hardest things to do. And when people get started with streaming and become the biggest streamer ever, they go through a lot of work that doesn't get paid for. So the fact that they're making a lot of money now and they're millionaires kind of makes up for that fact because they went through like 3 or 4 years where they would do this and they wouldn't make any money, right? So there's many issues, and here's the 4 I have. 1, you never start as a streamer, all right? You never ever start as a streamer. And this is, for the most part, true. Obviously, there's exceptions. Some people just do streaming, and they've been doing streaming for like the last few years. And you see that dust just fall? Some people just, you know, they don't start as streamers, right? Most people don't. Some people do start as streamers. They just get kind of lucky in a micro niche, and then they just kind of make it, right? So some people, it does work. But for most people who are the biggest streamers now, they didn't start as streamers. They didn't. Kai Cenat did not start his career by becoming a streamer. No, he didn't. He used to make skits, all right? Like on, I don't know if it was on Vine, but I remember I went to the beginning of his YouTube channel, and he was making these skits from like many years ago, from like 2016, all right? And he had a following back in 2016, but you didn't hear about him. You heard about him now. You heard about Kai Cenat now, but you didn't hear about him back in 2016, even though he had a following then, all right? He didn't just show up one day and was like, oh, I'm going to start streaming, and then within a year, he had a good amount of viewership, and then it kind of just went on from there, right? That didn't happen, right? He had a viewership already from 2016 that he slowly built up until like 2019, and then in 2020 he started streaming. Maybe it was 2021, But that's when he started doing his Twitch streaming, all right? And that's how he became like the biggest streamer in the world, right? But he didn't start as streaming. Most people you know did not start as streamers, all right? I can think of many examples from my favorite streamers who did not start by becoming streamers, all right? You know, it's and like, this is a bad example, but take someone like Dream. You know Dream Minecraft? Yeah, I know, like, kind of a touchy subject, you know? But he has a big series called Minecraft Manhunt. That was the thing that made him really popular. He didn't start by doing that. He didn't start by doing Minecraft Manhunts, all right? You never start as that thing. You started something else, and then you pivot, all right? People just pivoted into becoming streamers, all right? And I'm trying to start as a streamer from ground zero. And not that that's a bad thing, because there's a lot of things you got to learn about streaming, you know, before you actually do start it. But, you know, and I've learned a lot of things. But you don't start as a streamer, right? That's just one thing you do. That's the main issue. You never start. You can't start. If you want to be a streamer, don't start streaming. That's the advice I've ever heard. If you want to be a big streamer, don't stream. You got to do something else to get the viewers to come over to the stream before they execute it. Because, like, stream in itself is, like, such an investment. Like, why would people care? All right? Why would people care about your stream and spending hours watching you? They don't even know you. All right? And that's what I've noticed. That's the problem. No one knows you. Why would they check out your stuff? They don't even know you, right? You need to give them something for people to come through and just, you know, follow, right? So, you never start as a streamer. Second issue, which I've noticed, is this one, all right? Time commitment. That's a big issue. Like, obviously, if I stream for 3 hours, right, and I do, like, oh, I play some Bloons Tower Defense, and then I do a thing where we play marbles, and I can make that into a video, right? That's cool, but before it can actually be good content, which is like a YouTube video. Usually you stream to make a YouTube video, right? Before you do that, you literally have to spend how many hours doing the stream, doing the activity, then going back, looking through that footage, cutting it up, adding all the hard cuts. Then once it's all cut up to the footage you're going to use, then you have to add all the nice fancy effects and bring everything to make a good YouTube video and then upload it, all right? Which, for me, has slow internet, so for me it takes a few hours to upload it, and I just have to do nothing. I can't play any games because, you know, it's going to mess up the upload, right? Which, the internet will be better in the new house, so I'm hoping that my videos will get better because the internet will be faster. I digress. Literally, time commitment, right? Time commitment. You have to commit a lot of time to becoming a streamer. And that's not, even like doing the stream is not considering the fact that you have to come up with the idea for the stream. You have to prepare for the stream. You have to get your stream equipment set up. You have to have nice, like, I have lights here, all right? No one thinks about there being lights. But I have to have a light so my face looks nice and bright, you know? Most people don't even think about that, you know? But you do that, right? So, there's a big time commitment with being, I messed up the camera. There's a big time commitment with being a streamer, right? There's stream, editing a YouTube video, uploading a YouTube video, making a thumbnail, yada, yada, yada. This gets easier if you can get people on board, which actually goes into the idea of doing this full time, making money from the last point. You can hire people like editors and thumbnail artists to do a lot of stuff for you, so you can just specifically focus on performing, you know, during the stream, right? But it's a lot of time commitment. A lot of your time is going to that. There has been, like I said, I've gotten fat, right? I've gotten fat, you know, because a lot of time I could be using to just like either like work out or meal prep so I don't eat garbage food, you know. It's gone towards coming up with streams and doing the streaming, you know, and working on editing, you know. It's like I don't even like want to even think about food I want to eat because my mind is all right now in editing this video, you know. It's just things that you don't even think about, right? But there's a lot of time that goes into it, right? So that's one problem. Next problem, better efforts, all right? Issues with streaming is that there are better efforts, right? I can spend, how many hours have I spent streaming? I think I checked it. I was streaming for like around 200 hours this year. 200 hours of being alive, all right? That's not even considering editing the video, which actually probably takes longer than actually doing the stream, right? In a lot of ways. Sometimes, and not necessarily. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes shorter, whatever, right? But there are better efforts I could do. I could be making better content if I wasn't doing the streaming, you know? If I just wasn't deciding to do streaming in that way, you know? So when you're doing streaming, even though you're trying to make something, you're trying to be a streamer, you don't stream, even though that's all you want to do. You want to be a streamer, but you can't stream the thing you want to do because your better efforts are just towards making videos, cool ideas, and making videos that might blow up to get you the viewership of becoming a big streamer, right? So better efforts is one of those things that, you know, just happens, all right? Next thing, and the final thing I have on for issues as a streamer that I've noticed is niche, all right? most big streamers have one niche, all right? Ninja. Ninja probably doesn't want to play Fortnite all day, but he plays Fortnite because that's what people watch. They watch Ninja play Fortnite. They don't want to watch anyone else, They will watch Ninja play something else, but look at Ninja streams when he's not playing Fortnite, all right? The viewership goes from I don't know how many people. It goes from let's say 100% viewership down to 40%, People will still sit around and watch, but if you don't have that niche, what are people knowing you for? We know Ninja from Fortnite, We know that's what we know him as, We know Kai Cenat from his big marathon streams, and his live, almost interview-esque content, That's just a niche you do, right? Everyone has a niche they do. For me, some niches that most streamers do is the one that I go to, which is just kind of variety, right? You just kind of do a little bit of everything. People go watch your content for you, the face, the person underneath, right? But doing variety content is one of the hardest things to do. Even though that's kind of what I want to do, it's the hardest thing to get into because everyone wants to do it, right? No one wants to be chained to Fortnite all day. They want to do other things. So they want to do variety content, But it's not something they can do. For me, my niche, when I started, was I'll be kind of Call of Duty oriented because I like Call of Duty. I like doing the camo grinds. And that's something I still actively play. Even if I'm not streaming, I'll still be just checking in to play Call of Duty a little bit here and there, right? I play I haven't missed a week of playing Call of Duty in a long while, right? So I'm well, if I like playing Call of Duty, I'll just make that part of my niche and I'll stream Call of Duty because, that's kind of what I'm going to do. And when you go through there, you can look at other creators who are doing content on Call of Duty. You can look at other Call of Duty streamers and see how do you fit into that how do you fit into that equation? How are you a unique Call of Duty streamer in your own realm? What do you do differently, right? That's what people can kind of follow through with you, I'm just going to say that, Jinxie's a streamer who does Rainbow Six Siege. He would not be a big Rainbow Six streamer, or at least nearly as big as he is, if he streamed Siege the way everyone does, where they just play comp and then they just kind of, they play for a few hours, they write down their win-loss ratio, and then they end the stream. He wouldn't do that. He had way more things going into his streams than just that, That's his unique contribution to the niche of Rainbow Six Siege. And now he gets to do a lot of cool things, but you didn't start by doing what everyone else is doing, right? That niche has only a few slots for people, right? Any niche has room, and there's valued creators in those niches. So what are you doing differently that values you as a creator in that niche? What are you doing differently? Why you should be at the top of that niche, and gain a ton of viewership for people who watch things like Call of Duty? Why would people watch me if they want to watch some Call of Duty streams? Why would I be the one who's individually unique from all those other people, right? So niche is one that's very important because even if you're not gonna just niche down to a niche down to a niche, if you don't know what niching down means, it means that constricting your content to one niche so that everyone in that niche can easily identify with you as a creator, right? So if you want to niche down, it's much easier when there's a smaller community to get waves and make notice. Everyone wants to do variety streaming. Why would I just be a variety streamer who makes it when there's thousands of other streamers who are doing the exact same thing, who are exactly my size trying to do it? Why would they pick me out of those 1,000? So that's why you niche down, because it just makes it easier to figure out what you need to do to make your content better, and it just makes it a lot of easier, right? And that ends the issues I've had with streaming so far. I'm not really trying to come up with a way to solve these issues. I just know that this is something that I noticed this year, because like I said, I failed this year. I had goals this year. I failed them. I didn't get to do any of these goals. Here's why I failed, which is what I thought it, I say laugh at me for ego, by the way, because I was I kind of like people laughing at me, even though it might hurt my ego if it's based on that. It's important to not have an ego when you're doing stuff like YouTube, because if you do, you're just going to get stuck and never go anywhere. So, people, you can laugh at me. Make fun of me for not being a failure in 2024. I'll try not to be one in 2025, So that was that. I chose to say why I chose streaming in the long run, and then here's my issues so far with choosing streaming what I want to do, So, 2025. This is the last portion of my video, which is the future. This considers not the past year we've had doing on the dionhyper channel. This considers the future we have on the dionhyper channel, which I have 4 points I want to make here, right? For 2025. My 4 points. The first one is less care. Now, sounds weird. If you care less about your content and your channel and your streaming, you'll go farther. How does that make sense? Wouldn't it make sense if you cared more so that you put in more work? It's kind of like this balancing act, like where if you cared not enough, then you don't get to go anywhere because you don't actually like make improvements to your stuff. But if you care too much, then you microanalyze every single little thing, and then you kind of just really go nowhere because you're afraid of making anything that could make it, break it, the whole thing, right? So I want to care less about the end goal so that I have more time to work on the new stuff and get better at doing streaming, right? I want to care less about making it perfect, because I won't make anything perfect. You won't, just like learning any skill, you're not good at it. You won't be good at it for many years. But eventually, with enough years of you sucking, you will be good eventually, And from there, you can become great, And from there, you can become the best. But you won't get there by sucking a lot. And this year I sucked. I've made bad content, all right? I've sucked as a streamer. I made bad content. All I know is that next year I want to be better. I want to be a better streamer. I want to make better content next year. I want to make better videos. I want to make an actual impact with having viewers and stuff, That's what I want to do. But it starts with caring less. And it's hard to explain. So I'm going to show you a quick clip from Dr. K, i.e. Healthy Gamer GG, of why caring less about something actually makes you more productive and makes it better in the long run.
The more that you reduce your denominator, the more pleasure you will experience. Now, people say, but Dr. K, if I reduce my denominator, does that mean that I lose ambition? No, this is the most OP thing. When you're reducing your denominator, you are getting more dopamine, right? So if we're getting a 20% dopamine signal, instead of a 3%, we are increasing our pleasure, we are increasing our cravings, and we are increasing our behavioral reinforcement. If you do a 50% bump of dopamine by reducing your denominator, you are going to get more pleasure, more craving, and more behavioral reinforcement.
The next goal I had was simpler. I said, in 2025, I want to make stuff simpler. What does that mean, simpler? Well, simpler just means I want it to be less of an outreach to go make something like this. I want it to be more easy to just sit down and make the thing. I want it to be very simple. It's either you get it or you don't. Try not to make this one idea the best idea ever. Just make it a great idea. And some people aren't going to tune to the idea, no matter how good it is. They just won't tune into it because the idea itself, they're just not interested in, right? So I'll make it simple so the people who are actually interested in the idea of the video or stream or content, whatever it is I'm doing, I just want it to be more simple, It shouldn't be such an investment for you to get on board. It should just be very simple for you to get on board. So next year, I want to make things simpler. I just want to make it either learn how to do just thumbnails easier, maybe just make them effective but simple, and just make the editing simple. I always want to make the editing simple. That's why in all my videos I don't really put a lot of effects. I just make hard cuts because I was it's just simple. It's easier for you to just get on board if it's just hard cuts, so you're actually seeing the actual thing, right? That's what I would say. And the last thing, which kind of actually goes in this one, is more output. All right, I want to put out more videos because eventually, like I said, the beginning of the year I was gonna make multiple videos a week, have one stream a week, and that was gonna be the idea. Obviously, didn't happen, right? But what I did do this year was, start doing more streaming and having more output that maybe wasn't necessarily better, right? But I want to have more output this year with the idea that I will care less if it is necessarily if the most people see it, as long as I'm happy with it, that's fine. And, with simpler and have more output of simpler stuff, just so it's much easier to understand, And I always say this really in the mindset. I don't know, I couldn't think of mindset. In the mindset of me doing this by myself. Because it makes it easier for me to put out more content. It makes it easier for me to do myself. Because I'm the only person who's making this entire thing, right? A lot of the biggest creators have multiple people. Markiplier has an editor, to edit his videos, Ludwig, when he does a stream, has people edit his videos afterwards, I can't do that. I just have to literally stream, and then I have to do it myself, and then I have to make a thumbnail myself. And it's better just put out more output that's consistent output. That might not be the best thing ever, but it's easy for me to do because it is simple, and I don't necessarily care as much at the end of the day if it is the best thing ever, as long as I'm learning something new, with that. Because maybe one day I will have, I will have editors. I'll have more people who are, helping me make streams and videos and stuff. And that's where my skills I will learn for making stuff or caring less about stuff as long as I'm learning. That's where that experience will come in handy, when I've just been doing that, more often. And the last thing, obviously, this was coming on my goals for 2025 is to move to the new house. Probably won't happen. I thought it was going to move in June this year. It probably won't happen until 2027. So the streams in 2027 are going to go crazy, man, because we're going to be in a new house with fast Wi-Fi. And there'll be no more bitrate issues, so we can finally play Ultra Kill again. It's going to be awesome. I know. I can't wait. Anyways, that's all I have, boys. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I'll make 2025 a great year. Stay tuned in the next week for probably the best of 2024, dionhyper best of 2024. You know, hopefully it's good. You know, that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. I'm just gonna hit stop recording now, so you guys can just go do your thing. I don't know if you're doing, you know, maybe some of you are playing Boon's Tower Defense or Ultra Kill, and you're gonna go back to that. You know, I'm playing Cyberpunk, so I've never played it before, so it's the first time I'm ever playing it. So it's kind of cool. I'm kind